The sixth junior brother took out a scroll, pulled it open at one end, while the other end fell to the ground and rolled a long way. He raised his voice, reciting with intonation and rhythm. After a moment, the scroll had only unrolled 1/10. To Lan Qiren's ears, it was like revisiting old troubles. Before his eyes, a nightmare resurfaced. The anger he once had hadn't faded at all. Instead, like leftover food gone bad overnight, it reeked more the longer it stayed. With a wave of his hand, sixth junior brother received the signal and quickly shut his mouth. Lan Qiren paced angrily back and forth in front of the hall, pointing at Wei Wuxian's back, personally scolding him. When Lan Qiren scolded, he quoted classics and was extremely lengthy. Despite this, after a few sentences, the person kneeling below showed no reaction whatsoever, which felt very strange. Lan Qiren suspiciously craned his neck, but was blocked a few times by sixth junior brother. Annoyed, he pushed aside the obstruction and grabbed Wei Wuxian by his collar, lifting him up. This grab was a disaster. Wei Wuxian did not react at all. His whole body was limp and soft, collapsing to the ground. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. Lan Qiren staggered and fell to the floor. What happened to him? Sixth junior brother wept loudly. Eldest senior brother fainted from your scolding. This news alarmed Zhang Fengmian. Upon hearing the situation, his temples twitched once. With sixth junior brother's worried gaze on him, he rubbed his temples but said nothing further. Wei Wuxian was carried back to his room on a stretcher. Zhang Fengmian called for a doctor who said the body was unharmed, but the mental state was uncertain. It seemed as if the person's spirit was lost. Sixth junior brother quickly asked if eldest senior brother was too frightened and had internal QI disrupted. The doctor said it was possible but couldn't be certain. Lan Qiren took a deep breath in, his face showing some unease. Sixth junior brother continued crying. Eldest senior brother, Mr. Lan won't scold you anymore. You don't need to be afraid. Please wake up soon. Eldest senior brother, you wouldn't leave us behind, would you? Zhang Fengmian lifted his eyelids and cast a glance at him. A group gathered around Wei Wuxian's bed, watching the doctor busy with acupuncture and acupressure on the motionless body. Sixth junior brother found an excuse to leave. After a while, a small slip of paper sneaked half its body through the window frame, startled by the scene before it, and crawled along the wall corner inch by inch like an earthworm towards the bed. Midway, a curious gecko from the room corner pinned it down. Its slender tongue licked his cheek once, almost causing Wei Wuxian to cry out. Just then, Zhang Fengmian's sleeve lifted, and a thin, silent spiritual arrow shot out, hitting the gecko with a snap. The gecko was scared and ran away swiftly. In a moment, Wei Wuxian on the bed slowly woke up. He opened his eyes, first looked at Zhang Fengmian, then winked at him. Zhang Fengmian coughed, shook his head slightly, full of doting yet helpless expression. Wei Wuxian grimaced, holding his chest weakly, leaning on the bed's edge. Mr. Lan, I know I was wrong. I won't do it again, please. Don't be angry. Calm down. He slumped against the bed, unable to get up. Lan Qiren was frightened and waved his hand. All right. It's good to know your mistake. Take good care of your health and reflect on your mistakes. Lan Qiren said goodbye to Zhang Fengmian and nervously returned to the courtyard. As soon as he left, Wei Wuxian paced away following the scent of boiling water caltrops. Shortly afterward, Lan Qiren came out of the courtyard shouting, Wei Ying. In the back garden, Wei Wuxian choked on a chestnut thought for a moment, then slapped the table. Lan Zhan, you heartless one. You betrayed me, he shouted repeatedly. Senior sister Mian, Miss Moyan, Miss Shuya, Miss Ni, Miss Wen, Miss Ziying, help me. Lan Qiren was halfway through when he was tripped up by the skirts of many girls in the garden. Jiang Yanli held a small plate of water caltrops, smiling at Lan Qiren. Mr. Lan, try these water caltrops, freshly picked and freshly boiled, very sweet. Yes, Mr. Lan. Try this one I just peeled. Mr. Lan, try mine. Mr. Lan, sit down and eat. Lan Qiren had never been so surrounded and fawned over by so many girls. Yet he was not happy at all. He was drowned in a sea of smiling faces and fluttering sleeves, turning his head everywhere trying to find Wei Wuxian. You all get out of the way first. Wei Ying, come out for me. I won't eat. Wei Wuxian hid behind the girls, leisurely sitting on a stone bench, shaking his legs, holding a plump wine jar and taking a comfortable gulp. Mr. Lan, Really not eating? What a pity. Mr. Lan, why are you leaving? Take some with you to try. After successfully driving Lan Qiren away, the girls gathered around Wei Wuxian in a circle. While peeling water caltrops, they sized him up and asked, "What did you do to offend Mr. Lan again this time?" Wei Wuxian awkwardly pursed his lips, grabbed the wine jar, and took a gulp. He said, "It wasn't anything. He's just always so nervous about Lan Zhan, afraid I'd do something to him, which caused all this trouble. I just invite him to fly kites." The kitchen maid who was boiling the water, caltrops, brought over a small pot and said to the girls, "Water caltrops are cooling in nature. Girls who have those kinds of issues should be careful not to eat too many. Lotus seeds are fine. You can eat as many lotus seeds as you want." Just as Jiang Cheng arrived and was about to sit down, hearing this, without thinking, he said, "What issues? Why can't eat a lot?" The girls chuckled. The kitchen maid glanced at him, shook her head, and walked away. Such an attitude? Am I the hostess or is she? Jiang Cheng frowned, forgetting to eat the water caltrops. Seeing no one responded, he was puzzled for a long while, then gave Wei Wuxian a look. "Hey, do you know what she means?" Wei Wuxian smirked slightly, squinted his eyes, ate a peeled water caltrop, and pretended not to hear Jiang Cheng's question. Nearby, Zhan glanced blankly at the water caltrop in her hand and dared not eat it. She asked, "What does it mean? Why can't eat cool foods?" The girls were stunned, looking at each other. After a moment, someone went to ask her, "Zhan, don't you understand?" Zhan replied curiously, "Understand what?" Zhang Yanli smiled and handed her one, saying, "Miss Ni's body is strong and healthy, definitely different from ordinary girls. No need to worry about cool or warm foods, just eat freely." The topic turned another corner and went back to Lan Qiren and Lan Wangji. One girl said, "I didn't expect second young Master Lan to be so strictly controlled. I heard when he went out, he still had to review his lessons. He doesn't dare to neglect his studies at all. He's been at Lotus Pier for so long. Yet I've hardly seen him come out even a few times." Zhang Yanli asked, "Xian, is second young Master Lan the same in Gusu?" Wei Wuxian said, "Yeah, but even if old man Lan doesn't control him, he wouldn't run out to play by himself. So coming to Lotus Pier this time was already a huge favor to me." Zhang Yanli said, "Then the girl married to him in the future must be very bored." Wei Wuxian said, "Definitely. Who'd want to marry him?" Thinking it over, he thought, it didn't count if he said it himself. Turning to the girls, he asked, "What about you all?" Ying said, "Is the second-ranked young masters of aristocratic families. Surely many want to marry him." Zhan bluntly said, "Marrying him would be so bored, I don't want to." Hearing this from her, Wei Wuxian choked on a water caltrop and thought, well, Jiang Cheng wasn't boring. This girl's taste was quite unique. Lan Moyan briefly said, "I don't like him." Lan Shuya smiled faintly, but didn't answer. Luo Qingyang said, "Second young Master Lan is gentlemanly and righteous. Surely he won't treat his wife badly. Besides, his quiet and distant personality isn't bad. Mutual respect is also a way to live." Wei Wuxian paused, put down the wine jar in his hand, and looked at Luo Qingyang. "Miss Mian, you like mutual respect? Isn't being lively better?" Luo Qingyang glanced back at him, blushing a little, and said, "What I like is none of your business." Squinting his eyes, Wei Wuxian smiled gently. The girls began to tease. "Wei Wuxian, you're teasing Mian again. Do you like her? Say it." Wei Wuxian smiled without answering. After the playful commotion died down, a soft, delicate voice said, "But second young Master Lan doesn't joke with everyone like that. Doesn't he feel lonely?" The girls all turned their heads. It was little Ouyang Xiaolan, quietly curled up in a corner. The topic had long veered off, only she was still thinking about Lan Wangji. Wei Wuxian glanced at her obliquely and said, "Little sister Xiaolan, you care a lot about Lan Zhan. Lan Zhan is indeed quite lonely. When there's time, I'll take you to keep him company, okay?" Ouyang Xiaolan let out an "ah," and seeing everyone looking at her, suddenly became scared and timidly said, I was just saying that I didn't mean anything else." Wei Wuxian nodded at everyone, asking who wanted to marry Lan Wangji. The girls took turns replying. After a while, they looked at Wen Jin in the corner, who seemed unrelated, and nudged her to give an answer. In front of Wen Jin lay a small mountain of water, caltrop shells. The other girls used little knives to open theirs and politely scooped the contents out with spoons, but She used her hands directly, violently cracking one open. Concentrating as she squeezed out a bit to eat, someone bumped her and brought her back to attention. Furrowing her brows, she thought seriously for a long time, then solemnly gave one word. "No."